So you know it's going to be a great night when you see a program that looks like this. I mean, this is quality, you know? We've been around together. Our first guest here, Dave Madigan, Jane Alcorn, right from Shoreham. And what I love about tonight is just each and every year, first of all, we're live.
Which is cool.
You know what I mean? We're not in the, what we used to call those, the virtuals. I love those, but there's nothing like live. You can mingle, see each other, have a drink if you like. So welcome you two. This is fantastic.
Thank you for having us.
You're
Thank you very
absolutely welcome.
much.
Oh, this is a great new addition for this gala. We're going to start it off. Wow. Let's catch up a little. It's been a year. This is the start of the fundraising season for the Wardenclyffe Tesla Science Center. I'll start with you, Dave. As a board member, what does this mean to you, a night like tonight?
Well, it's been 10 years in the making, and it's finally nice to see some progress. It's, you know, we had to raise a lot of money, and that doesn't happen overnight. So, and we need permits, which doesn't happen overnight. That's all I'll say about the permits.
So what we're speaking about, folks, because this will go worldwide, we are speaking about the actual last known Tesla laboratory, Nikola Tesla Laboratory in Shoreham, New York. It's on the North Shore of Long Island. These two folks were there since the inception, since the beginning. It's a long story that's well documented, but it's so good to be here now, 2023, at our annual gala, just catching up with the people that really started this. What does a night like this mean to you, Jane?
Well, it's been more than 10 years since we began this journey, but this year has really been rather exciting because we've taken some major steps this year, and we're seeing big progress on the grounds, which is what we all wanted to see, but it just couldn't happen until, as Dave mentioned, we got permits and we had a long process in fundraising and preparing for this time. And this gala is one of the events that will help us to move forward as we go into the future.
Can you tell me about, I know inside the booklet it talks about this being the start of the season of raising money, right, through January. This is really the kickoff to getting online donations. So many different ways that people can help.
Absolutely.
And there might be somebody else that we could talk to later particularly about that, but if you want to speak a little bit about how can people help.
Well, they can certainly donate online, and that's the easiest thing. You just go onto our website, teslasciencecenter.org, and it's wonderful to be able to just do it that way. You can find the donation button and put in your information, and we're really happy for anything you can give. From, Tesla's favorite number was 3, so we kind of joke about that. $3 is great, give us $3, but, if you can give $3,000, or you can give $30,000, or $333,000, whatever it is, well, from anything,
well,
we'll take it.
People should know the original story. The reason why the lab has been saved was these small donations.
Right. It was when we were first able to raise the funds to buy the property, the average contribution was $41. So
that's right.
33,000 donations from 108 countries on
so
6
much.
continents.
It just means so much.
Yeah.
It does, and when you think about these kinds of events, the online world is that's where we are now. That it's really not just being here. It's people around the world who can't be in person with us, but who care about what we're doing, and we invite them to be here when they can, and to visit us at Wardenclyffe when they can.
And they'll be with us virtually when we get everything completed, because we have an obligation to be available to everybody around the world that has supported us.
Yeah, this is a worldwide project, all to just always carry on Nikola Tesla's his legacy, but also his foresight that we, again, are seeing today in our ubiquitous use of some of the objects we're using, like iPhones and all that. I'm sure we'll talk to some people that can talk to us about the technology later. I did want to mention, and if you know some of these folks by name, that's fantastic. We have 3 honorees tonight. We have Rising Star Award going to Sammy Chu, and I'll just mention him by name right now. We're also honoring Dr. Yakov Shamash. I hope I got that right.
You did.
For a Lifetime Achievement Award.
He's a big deal.
That's a really big deal. Stony Brook, yeah, absolutely.
Not just Stony Brook, all of Long Island.
Beautiful.
Yeah.
An Innovator of the Year award going to Professor Chad Boughton. Is anybody?
I don't know him.
Well, I haven't met him, but I'm looking forward to it.
Okay. But it's so great that we can do this level of honorees now. and we can do this every year. We obviously want to make a big shout out to Zebra, Amazon, some of our bigger sponsors. Everybody really sees the vision now. That's what I see the difference.
Yep.
You know, so many people that don't know, like we know because we literally live there, just go, oh, what's going on in that building? What do they do there? You know, there's actually, at this given second, nothing going on in the building, but there's so much going on around the whole thing.
Yeah, nothing yet.
Yeah, it's an old building that's holding our dreams right now.
That's a good way to say it. What do you most look forward to tonight, besides the prime rib?
I look forward to talking to a lot of wonderful supporters. I'm excited to meet some of these people who I haven't met, but I've heard so much about, and reacquainting myself with some of the ones we've met in the past, and seeing old friends. So I think it's a wonderful opportunity for all of us to get together and celebrate these rising stars and lifetime achievements and innovators who all contribute to the kinds of things that Tesla did. You know, he helped to bring about the innovation that has created our world today, and these people are continuing that in their own ways.
It's
and
a
I think it's
reacquaintance
marvelous.
night for sure. Dave, what do you most look forward to? By the way, we should tell people what you're hearing, which is really great Middle Eastern. You know, we're live here
I like it, yeah.
at Flower Fields in St. James, Long Island. I know this is going to be seen worldwide, so this is maybe 10, 12 miles west of the site. It's a wonderful place. We'll show you some pictures in the background as you're listening to this, but there's a live violin, electric violin player to my right, probably leaking through a little, and that's just fine. That's the feel we want. What are you most looking forward to, Dave?
Well, I should mention that I grew up 4 houses from the house that Tesla grew up in, and he was baked into our DNA in the village ever since I was a little kid. And there was a gentleman named Wesley Oliver. When I was in my 20s, he was 92. He came up to me and he said, you know, he said, when I was a small boy, there was a man standing on the bluff here facing the water, and he had a box in his hand with levers, and he was looking out over the water. And I walked up to him and I said, what are you doing, sir? And he said, take a look. And the automaton, which was a remote control boat, was going back and forth in the water. And then he said to Wesley, he said, here. And he handed him the box with levers, and what Wesley had in his hands was the world's first remote control device right there on the bluff in Shoreham. Yep. And then a little later in the early teens, my mother lived there as well, and my grandmother, and the Tesla Tower was still up. And in the winter time, the kids who were friends with my mother and their parents were friends with my grandmother used to climb up the tower in the wintertime with ice skates over their shoulder, and they'd put them on and they'd skate 180 feet up in the air.
That's an incredible story.
In the disc.
Any pictures of that?
No, but there are pictures taken from the tower.
Yeah, pictures taken by Thomas Bayliss, but in the history of Shoreham that was written by
Mervyn
Pallister.
Yep.
He recounts that tale of young people ice skating in the wintertime at the top of the tower, probably about 160 feet up in the air.
And he was one of them.
Yeah, looking out over the Sound on one side and being able to see the Atlantic Ocean on the other.
That's incredible.
And that tower, just as a point of information and reference, was 187 feet high. So even today, it would be the tallest building on Long Island.
That's right.
So it's really rather incredible to think about what was built there.
And Mervyn Pallister's father was the first mayor of the village.
Really?
And now his grandson is the mayor of the village.
Yeah, the current mayor.
And Mervyn Pallister built the very first model of the Tesla Tower, which still exists today at the Spear household.
It's wonderful, and we all live there, and many of the people here do. I want to shout out to Kaylee, who's helping me tonight, getting these podcasts out. We're right at the 10-minute mark. It's been a pleasure speaking to both of you.
My pleasure.
If you see somebody interesting, send them on over. We're live here tonight.
We'll be happy to do that.
Okay,
thank you for your time.
Thank you.
Back live here at the Wardenclyffe Tesla Gala at Flower Fields in St. James. Such a pleasure to have my next guest here, Joe Campola. Thanks for joining us. I know you have a history with this wonderful organization, and I know you have a history with business, HIA for sure. I've known you from there. I think I've interviewed you. Great to see you. What does a night like tonight mean to you? And tell me about a little history with the organization.
Yeah, sure. I mean, this is such a great night for for Long Island, for all of Long Islanders. I mean, one of the things that always impresses me about Long Island is how much history and how many nuggets and how much entrepreneurship and innovation and science exists here on Long Island, and nobody in the world really seems to understand it. And when you think about the fact that Nikola Tesla, probably one of the greatest inventors of all time, his last remaining lab in the world is right here on Long Island, right here. How could you not want to be involved with all that history and all that spiritship? So I served briefly on the board, and then I serve in a fundraising capacity for voluntary for the organization on its business development committee, and trying to help it raise awareness and raise funds. And I think I've done a pretty good job at helping it do that. So I'm super proud to be here tonight.
Well said. Pleasure to have you. What do you look forward to with the lab itself? Where do you see it bringing? It's almost so unique that not any city or state in America could really actually put a flag in the ground like we can, because there's only one place. He was in Colorado Springs, but he really laid his technology down on Long Island. His big dream was there, and so many things 100 years later are coming to fruition about the way he was thinking. And of course, he lived as a New Yorker, so we really have this unique sort of physical location. And then, like you said, surrounded by Stony Brook University, BNL, and probably some new technologies that aren't even here yet. So what do you most look forward to? Let's look at 5 years, and this thing's running, and people are visiting from all around the world.
I think it's going to be one of the most exciting places in the world to come to explore science. I mean, look at where it's going to be. Brookhaven National Lab is getting an electron-ion collider, the most intense collider in the world. Right? Then you're going to have the Tesla Science Center right there. Then you have Cold Spring Harbor Lab, 20 miles away from that. It's absolutely going to keep us on the map, and really put us on the map for more than just beaches and other things that Long Island's famous for.
I guess home prices will continue to rise.
Amen, brother.
Amen. Thank you so much for joining us. Before I let you go, do you have any words to say about the honorees?
Well, Yakov Shamash and I have been friends and have done business together for more than 20 years. He is a giant. He is an icon, and he is certainly just one of my most favorite people in the world. He's taught me so much and mentored me so much throughout my career, and so hats off to him and to all the honorees. It's very well deserved.
Well deserved. Absolutely. Thank you so much. Welcome, Jim Hayward. I had Mark Alessi, our executive director, personally bring you over, said I should talk to you. So you must be an important guy with a vision. Tell me a little bit about yourself and what brings you here tonight to the gala.
Oh, sure. Well, first of all, I'm a long fan of Yakov Shamash and Mark Alessi, and I'm a molecular biologist by training, but I turned to the dark side pretty early on in my career, and I've been involved in the management of both public and private companies in Europe and the U.S.
Dark side meaning you've become a capitalist?
Yes, that's it.
Hey, you're in America. Nobody would blame you. Congratulations. So you come to see one of the honorees, which is certainly valiant, but you must have something in your heart for Nikola Tesla himself and his legacy. I'd like you to talk a little bit about that.
Sure. As a scientist, I try to see the other side of things as often as I can, and if
so you must be very happily married.
Yes, I am. I am. I've been married for 47 years. And,
you know what? You just gave me the secret I was looking for. Thank you.
So, Tesla was an extraordinary visionary, seeing things as other people did not. And often the key to success in commercial science is just that. And I appreciate the way he saw the world.
Absolutely. Did you want to speak about anything that in your life that you literally followed because of his legacy? Did you read a book or a few books about him and then you were really inspired? And if you teach or you have taught in the past, has it been part of even just a little incy bit of your curriculum, so to speak?
Well, molecular biology is a bit of ways from
Yes.
where Tesla lived his scientific life. So, no, I have not been a teacher of Tesla's ways. But I've been a fan of what he did and what the consequences were. And I think it's ironic at this point in time to see the rise in his popularity and awareness. It's amazing.
Agreed. What do you most look forward to tonight besides, as you said, celebrating your friend as an honoree?
Well, this draws a wonderful collection of people, and
doubt.
there are many of them just strolling along the floor that I'm anxious to see and shake hands with.
Good. Okay, at this point, it's around 6:30, and we are seeing literally hundreds of people in here. So we'll be back soon with our next guest. Thank you.
Thanks so much. Cheers.
Back at the Gala here, live. This is great to be live at Flower Fields, the annual Wardenclyffe Gala, where this is really the touch-off, not only to celebrate honorees, not only to bring people that love Nikola Tesla and his legacy, but also to get reacquainted with old friends, which I have an old friend here, Sarah Anker, who is right from our district where the Shoreham lab is, where the Tesla laboratory is. So good to see you.
Good to see you too. This is exciting. It's so beautiful, the setting, you got the music, you've got historical displays, you
Yes.
have business, you have technology, you have educators, you have so many people from every walk of life coming here celebrating Tesla and science and technology, and that's where our future is going.
No doubt.
Yeah.
And again, you were there. I mean, maybe let's just name the year. I believe you were there 2015. What was the first year you got involved with it?
Oh, with the property was over 20 years ago.
Right.
With Jane Alcorn, and I went to one of her science classes. I took my kids who are now in their 20s and 30s. They were, young little kids. And I met Jane Alcorn, who basically ignited the Tesla
Had the vision.
phenomenal. She had the vision. And she was in the Shoreham Wading River High School, one of the rooms there.
Yeah, it was called Friends of Science, as I remember.
That's it.
I didn't know that about your kids.
Oh,
That's
yeah.
awesome.
Oh, it was amazing.
I didn't realize that.
Oh, we go way back. I have very deep roots into the community.
So that's why you've been one of the reasons you've been such a champion.
Yeah.
So tell the folks, the position you were in through the last, how many years?
It's been over 12 years.
Right.
So I'm a Suffolk
County
legislator. Yep. I got in during a special election, and 7 elections later, I'm here. I'm term limited, so my last day will be December 31st of this year. I'm not quite sure where I'm going.
Okay.
I hope it's in the energy field. There's some opportunities out there, but like I said, the future is technology. And
Sure is.
Tesla is the mentor, the inspiration, the foundation of energy.
The embodiment.
Oh gosh, we can come up with
We
some
got
really
a
good words.
lot of adjectives. So what do you most look forward to tonight? I know you can't stay all night,
Yeah.
but you got old friends here, reacquaintance. What do you see as a vision for the lab, down the road here? And it's coming quickly, by the way, because you and I used to be
You're right.
on the, we used to be on the grounds, and it didn't look like much. And now
Yeah.
it's really exciting. You drive past. Again, this is a worldwide podcast. For those that don't know, we're on the north end of Long Island, the north coast, as you know, and a lot of cars pass by, and you can peer through the trees. You can see buildings are down. You can see the lab taking shape.
Right.
So,
Right.
what do you see for kids that are going to learn and
Oh,
be a
gosh.
part of this?
Yeah, I see an incredible future for this educational institution to become a prominent part of Long Island's legacy. Because, you come to Long Island and invite all folks come to visit us in Long Island. I think I was at an event, Long Island has $6.6 billion in tourism economy, and Tesla can be part of that. As a legislator,
Easily.
I worked on the Heritage Park in Mount Sinai,
Sure did.
North Shore Rail Trail, which is a 10-mile bike.
I use it every week. It's the
Isn't it
best thing
great?
that ever happened.
And those are partnerships with government. and we need to do more. We've got the RCA property, which is thousands of acres of open space, and businesses along the way. So this is an economic engine. The Tesla Museum, Wardenclyffe. And what it is transforming into is one of the cogs in the wheel to really get our economy going, to really promote the educational value that we have. We have some of the top schools in the country.
I know. My son goes to one of them, Stony Brook.
Yeah. And this,
not to single it out, but it's a great school.
it is. Woohoo, see woofs. So it's important too that the museum partners with the school districts, and we have STEM, the science, technology, engineering, and mathematics.
Yes.
And then there's arts too. That's STREAM, right?
Yep.
They're kind of changing it.
Acronyms.
Acronyms. But you've got Brookhaven National Lab. You have Cold Spring Harbor. You have so many wonderful science and technology institutions. There, B&L's opening up one of their main tourism attractions, which is the Discovery,
Yes.
right? Discovery
and
Center.
And the Ionic.
And it's being built right now.
Yeah.
The ion colliders and all that cool stuff. Yeah.
So a lot of things coming together. So it's
There are.
absolutely exciting with the partnerships, as you said, the education, and people like you being in office. And by the way, Sarah's leaving in a month.
No.
So,
bye.
but I have a
Maybe
suspicion
my-
you're going to inspire those that take your place, those alongside of you, and you'll do other things. I want to thank you for being such a champion of Tesla through the years. I really do. I've seen you at dozens of events
Right.
supporting that. So
Right.
thank you so much.
And I just want to mention to the folks watching, be part of this amazing transformation. Whether you volunteer or you donate, or in some way be part of this, because it's about the people. It's the power of the people, right?
It's the power of the people.
There we go.
We mentioned before, the actual Tesla Lab 16 acres was bought with an average donation of $41.
It's amazing.
33,000 people donated $41. And that's how that started off. Without that being successful, none of this, including this night, would be possible. So again, very exciting seeing you on this
Yes,
night.
I know.
God bless and great seeing you. You
Thank
take
so
care.
much. Thank you.
Thanks for sitting with us.
My pleasure. My pleasure.
It's always great when you get an honoree in front of you. It doesn't always happen. It took me a lot of time and effort to get Sammy Chu in front of me, who's a rising star with Edgewise
Energy.
Edgewise
yeah.
Energy. Tell us what Edgewise does, sir.
We're a clean energy developer. We're actually we're founded here. We're a Long Island-based company. We are a graduate of the Clean Energy Business Incubator Program at Stony Brook.
Awesome.
And we started our company to be a development innovation company, a business model innovation company.
Do you do products or service or both?
We are a service and development. We saw a gap. And actually some of it was inspired by what we saw happening at the incubator. We saw a lot of technology, including existing technology, some very proven, that wasn't finding its way to the marketplace to maximum effect because it wasn't aligned with a lot of the other conditions that needed to be considered, such as policy, finance, and sometimes just relationships, and also just getting the message across that it was necessary and finding the right fit for it. So that's where we come in.
So you'll see a company that's got something special and they don't have maybe the right stuff, and you help them get the right stuff so they get noticed and also funded if possible? Or do you buy their technology, resell their technology? Is it all possible?
We don't buy technology, but we definitely will work on taking a technology that has been, in our estimation, underutilized and has great market potential and revenue potential, and putting the right pieces together to get it out there and deployed. And yes, money's always part of it.
Money's always part of it.
Yeah.
We talked to Jim Hayward before, and he's also affiliated with Stony Brook, and he said, I went to the dark side. I go, what do you mean? You became an American capitalist? He goes, yeah. Because that's great. There's nothing wrong with that. Money makes the world go around. I'm all for it. When you wake up every day or every week or every year, how often do you think about what Nikola Tesla has brought to the table, and really how significant is it for today's entrepreneurs?
I think what we can learn from Tesla is his just continuous, unrelenting drive to iterate and innovate, and he just never stopped. He never quit. And I think we could also learn he had great successes, but he also overcame a lot of failures, and I think that's a big part of the story. But what we learn is not, of course, we have to acknowledge that he was a genius. That a genius you don't see often.
Yeah.
But it wasn't just his genius; it was also his genius that was paired with an unrelenting pursuit of bringing his imagination to life, and we all benefited in immeasurable ways.
Immeasurable ways. Do you think we can take that description of persistence and bring it over to the Jets quarterback this year?
Did someone tell you I was a Jets fan?
No.
Well,
I'm a lifelong one, but I'm saying I'm trying to be positive.
Yes, I mean I was doing the math, and if we just, I think if we had like 3 additional touchdowns this season, we would have been like 7-2. I think, listen, Tesla wouldn't have hurt. Tesla wouldn't hurt. We've survived the Aaron Rodgers Achilles heel. We've had to endure Taylor Swift, and now we have an amazing defense. We have amazing. So a good product without financial backing and potential is like the Jets defense without an offense. I think that's
I knew you were going to
analogy,
somehow come out with this.
If you can't get in the end zone, it's going to be really hard to win the game.
Fantastic. What are you most looking forward to tonight? Obviously, you're amongst friends, seeing some old friends, I'm sure, and some new friends. What are you most looking forward to?
I'm here with my wife, Jennifer, who I couldn't do any of this without, and also my son Jacob, and it's really nice. Now he's actually a freshman in college at Malloy University here, also on the island, and
very cool.
It's really nice now to bring him, and as he grows an adult, and introduce him to all the great things about Long Island, all the wonderful people about Long Island. So I'm looking forward to that and being amongst friends.
Very cool. Thanks for talking with us, and congratulations.
Thank you. Pleasure. Go
Look
Jets.
forward to Sunday. Go Jets.
Go Jets.
Jets.
We're not out yet.
Having a great night here at Flower Field's annual gala, the Tesla Science Center. We couldn't be having a better time. So privileged to be here and honored to be here talking to guests like the one I'm about to talk to now, who came in from
Austin, Texas.
That's what I'm saying. We're not talking just Long Island here. Mark Alessi, our executive director, particularly brought you over and said, I need to talk to you because you were involved in some really cool technology early on, and I guess you still are, right?
Yes, sir.
Let's talk about it.
Okay, where would you like to begin?
Go with something that might be Tesla inspired, or if not, maybe inspires you in such a way that reminds you of what Tesla brought to the table all those years ago.
Okay. We've got several examples. So first, I was one of the founders of Amazon Web Services. I created the database division of Amazon Web Services, and early on in our days of creating it, we were going back and forth, like, are we going to call it the cloud? Are we going to call it utility computing? Utility, like electricity, like, keep things on, And so, thinking about how that might tie to Tesla and what he invented, it's kind of like things are always on. Cloud is there,
Forever.
Utility and things, and it was a very interesting time. We went back and forth with names.
What year did this happen, when it first happened?
2006.
So Amazon, we know back in the day, started as a book, an online bookstore, quickly went into other products. Why? This is a really interesting question. Why did they find it necessary to put servers in the cloud? What? That must be a profitable business, but what was the impetus for doing that?
Sure. Okay. So when you build something as large as Amazon.com at scale, you wind up inventing things that others don't have.
Right.
For example,
That's
you
amazing.
build your own web servers, and at that scale, there's hundreds of thousands of servers running, selling books, selling toothpaste, all the things that are on the everything store, right? So you wind up inventing technologies specific to you because other people can't do that. You invent those technologies because they're custom made to you, and it's cheaper.
That is so cool. So out of necessity,
You're
building things that have never even been built before.
Yes.
Let's wow some people here, since it's a wow-full night. How big is AWS today? Try to give it to me in either dollar figures or terabytes. Any way we could imagine.
Oh, it's way, way more than terabytes.
Really?
We're beyond petabytes. People build regular petabyte databases now. But Amazon Web Services, put it this way, it's in the tens of billions of revenue a year, a quarter, right? 80% of the world's data is still in a data center. So we're still in the early stages of things shifting to the cloud.
Unbelievable.
And so it's unbelievable, yeah.
I've been talking cloud for 10 years myself. I love when I can put a camera up, a security camera up, and that data goes to the cloud. So if, for example, somebody knocks the camera down, it's already in the cloud. And that's so much of what we're seeing today, right? Video, surveillance video. So that's a big part of it. But the part I want to tell you is I didn't realize the backbone was AWS.
Yes.
Amazing.
Yeah, so when we're doing stuff, we're like, hey, other people can benefit from this. It's like building infrastructure, stacking servers, wiring up networking, building racks. It's cost intensive, right? And it's labor intensive. So how do you accelerate innovation? Make that simple. Do it through an API. Automate it.
Very cool.
And it just kind of it just kind of went. I'll admit I was super skeptical when I joined. Andy, my boss, who's now CEO, and I'm like, really? This looks like hosting to me. And he kind of walked me through his thing. I'm like, okay, I'll do it. So it was
Next
interesting.
world stuff. So bring us to your affiliation with the Tesla Science Center and or Mark Alessi, and tell us why you're here tonight. What are you looking forward to?
Oh, I'm here for multiple reasons. So I met Mark. Mark reached out to me on LinkedIn, and he's like, look, I lead the entrepreneur kind of community for New York, and kind of ask you some questions, pick some ideas, help me kind of figure out how to scale that. And then he had his own company, and he said, hey, would you take a look at this and give me some advice? So we spent a few hours on
That's Mark,
business.
Ultimate Networker.
Yeah, it was super cool. I like the idea of what they do. And then he kept coming back to the Tesla, the Tesla Science Center.
Wow.
I'm like I'm a huge fan. This guy changed the world. Unfortunately, he wasn't the savviest businessman.
No, it wasn't.
And so, we need to kind of extend his legacy, right?
And we are.
And so it's really, really interesting when I tell other technology executives, they're like, wow, they have something like this, and people get energized. So That was it.
Very cool. So networking tonight. Did you want to meet anyone of the honorees? Is there someone special that you want to network with, or are you just here to have a good time? Can you tell me?
I'm open to meeting really good people. I lead a digital kind of advisory now. So all my guys are ex-Amazon, Microsoft, and head of engineering from Symantec. And we all kind of help companies, modernize and grow by helping them with their digital strategies like AI, edge computing. You talk about video, we go on and on about that.
And we will. We'll talk. We'll talk offline. This is great.
And cloud native and how to architect for scale. And so, we kind of work with companies primarily Series B and above, a lot of like mid-sized to Fortune 500s.
Very cool.
Because they don't get AI.
Yep, I get it. So I think they're starting to call us into dinner. What an exciting night. We'll continue this. I am going to try to get one or two more honorees in front of us. Pleasure talking to you, Mr. Domo.
Yeah, thanks. Pleasure meeting you, and thanks for the time.
Thank you. Our second honoree tonight at tonight's gala, is Dr. Yakov Shamas. So good to see you. Thank you for joining us.
Thank you for having me.
When did you first find out you were an honoree, and how do you feel about it today?
I found out about it about 5 months ago.
Okay.
And
You've had a lot of time for your speech then.
And it certainly is a great honor. I very much appreciate it. And it's interesting because it's really what I've been doing over the years. I've been essentially following in his footsteps.
Oh, that's wonderful.
So
that's what I've been waiting to speak to somebody like that.
And what I've been working on is the energy sector. And we wouldn't have energy if it wasn't for him, right? And and he also was doing work in wireless communications, and I'm doing wireless communications. So it fits in very well, and I'm really very proud of. He's an incredible man, a genius.
Amazing, right?
Yep.
Who didn't get his due really, but now we are doing that.
Right.
The fact that we're talking here about Nikola Tesla in 2023 is very heartwarming. For me, I'm sure it's over the moon for you. Can you give me an example of wireless technology that you're working on today and how it assimilates back to Nikola Tesla's time? Give me a direct example.
Well, an example is what we've been doing over the years, over the past 10 years now, since we established this major center at Stony Brook in the wireless and information technology. And it's a unique center funded by the state of New York. And we've been working on multiple projects working with Symbol Technologies. They have a major
Excellent.
wireless activity. We have many projects with industry to try and essentially promote wireless communications. And nothing jumps at me right now, but I'm sure there are tens of projects that we were doing over there.
So let's talk 5G as an example, right?
Yes.
We're at 5G. How close are we to saying goodbye to 5G and going to 6G, for example?
Probably about 5 or 10 years.
Amazing, right?
Yep.
And so we'll get a little funny with each other. What will happen when we get to this? How fast this can go? What will change? There'll be some virtual reality aspect of it, right?
Well, there'll be a lot of activity in terms of wireless communication being done a lot more securely. We have a lot of activity in the wireless. It's going to be speed. It's going to be very fast. Okay, and our people don't like to wait anymore.
I know.
So it's they want it tomorrow, or they want it this second, essentially. And that's what's going to help us with 5G. We'll be able to communicate, whether it's visually, or verbally, or virtual reality.
It's
You're
amazing,
going
right?
to see it's a major impact.
And of course, the economy runs on this. Tell me quickly about your affiliation with Stony Brook, how proud you might be. Give me a history there with Stony Brook University.
Well, I've been here at Stony Brook for 30 years,
Beautiful.
31 years.
Yep.
And I've been very lucky in that I was a dean of the engineering school for 23 years. I was a vice president for 20 years. And, I've essentially for the past 5 years, I stepped down from all administrative positions that I had at Stony Brook, and I'm just doing research.
Excellent.
So,
quickly on your vision for the actual lab, the physical lab and museum that will come there. I'm sure there'll be times where you will visit, but maybe you'll even do some special seminar there or something. We don't know. But tell me what you'd like to see happen.
What I would like to see happen essentially is having children,
Beautiful.
okay, teenagers, going there, seeing the impact of technology on our world and what his impact on what we're doing.
You have to admit it's a little different, with no disrespect to Stony Brook, but being on a campus is one thing. Being in the laboratory of the man that actually brought this to where we are, that's going to probably really inspire children in a way that you
Absolutely.
can't. Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah,
Yep.
I'm looking forward to that.
I'm looking very much forward. I hope they do it as quickly as possible.
We're trying to get them to do that.
Yep.
And we'll push donorship all the time. I'm going to put something on the bottom of the screen now. Please, this is a worthwhile project that is way out in front of anything else in the world with Nikola Tesla. That's for sure.
Yes, sir.
Thank you so much, sir. Enjoy your dinner. Enjoy your time. And congratulations.
Thank you very much.
Take care.
Appreciate it.
Take care. Well, it's quieted down a little, but that just means people are going in to eat dinner. So we get a little bit more solace as I speak to our third honoree tonight at the annual Gala Tesla Science Center. So excited. Professor Chad Boughton, welcome.
Yes. Thank you. Thanks so much.
Where are you coming in from tonight?
Well, from Connecticut, actually.
Okay.
Yes.
Did you take our wonderful boat to Port Jefferson?
We did not. We missed the boat, literally. So we had to go around.
You came around good old New York City?
Yeah. Only 3 hours to get here.
What do you mean you missed the boat? I can help you there. I work in Port Jefferson, and I see and hear the ferry every day.
Yes.
So what brings you here tonight besides the obvious? What are you motivated by? What do you want to see happen tonight? Who do you want to see? Give us the whole deal.
Well, it's an honor to be here, and it's an honor to receive the Innovator of the Year award. But this event is incredible because it's all about Nikola Tesla and the new Science Center. And I've been a big fan of Nikola Tesla for many years. And you know, he's one of those that followed his passion, and he didn't
Certainly.
do it for the money. Although at one point he had a good amount of money, but in the end he really did it because he wanted to do something that had never been done before. So
Which he did.
Which he did.
So it's strange right now. It's only been since I feel like 2010, 2009, people have really gotten excited about Nikola Tesla, almost in a, I won't say a cult way, although there's that faction, but there is a real appreciation for what this man did. But it didn't come till this century.
Yeah, no, and I think even most people don't realize that you look around and you look at the lights and all of our electricity around us is all because of him and his inventions and the ability to spread electricity around the entire planet was just because of his brilliant innovations. And yeah, and now I really. It took a car company to use his name to then kind of realize, you know, or cause people to think, wait a minute, who's this Tesla
Who
guy?
was this guy?
Yeah. And so anyway, it's just pretty incredible.
So with that kind of inspiration, if you would, just talk about some of the things you've worked on. What are you most proud of? Your affiliations, so we can tell the world why you're here.
Well, yeah. So I work at Northwell Health and the Feinstein Institutes, which is our research arm. Incredible group of people. And I have a lab and a center that's focused on folks living with paralysis. And this will sound like science fiction, but we are literally putting tiny chips in the motor and sensory areas of the brain.
Unbelievable.
And we are detecting signals and then even decoding or deciphering those signals using forms of AI.
What is that technology called?
And then linking that to muscles. That is actually called neural bypass technology, and now we just did the world's first double neural bypass, reconnecting the brain to the body so that a paralyzed person can move and feel sensations in their fingers for the first time.
This is absolutely wonderful. I've heard that, for example, Elon Musk is interested in technology like this. There's a name for what he was working on or is working on. Is there a collaboration, not so much with him, but is there... How new is this technology? It must be brand new.
Well, no, that's the funny thing. So Neuralink is a company that he's formed, but we were doing this even 15, 16 years ago. In fact, I had the fortune to be involved with the first brain implants that were left in for long periods of time in people who had a stroke, brainstem stroke, or even ALS. And in these individuals, we were able to allow them to become more independent, be able to surf the web just with their thoughts, even drive a wheelchair around a room just by thinking about it.
Incredible stuff. So where will this go for you? What is your vision in your own companies or your own, if you will, professional setting for the next 5 years? What can we realize? What do you want to realize?
Well, at the Feinstein Institutes at Northwell Health, we are preparing to expand this into more conditions and into even the areas of rehabilitation. Right now, people will have a stroke or an injury and they kind of hit a plateau after a while, and the insurance even can run out. And so what we want to do is break through that glass ceiling and allow people to get better and get back to a completely independent life. We've also spun out a company called Nuvotion, and Nuvotion is commercializing some of these technologies so we can get it to market faster. So it's really exciting. Really
very exciting. Next step stuff here. I'm so pleased to be able to talk to you, be able to communicate what you're bringing to the world. I can see clearly that you've been inspired by the persistence of Nikola Tesla.
Yes.
Being here on Long Island must mean something for you, even though it took you 3 hours to get here. So thank you for spending some time with us. Go enjoy yourself in the next room, and congratulations.
Absolutely. Thank you so much.
Pleasure
Thank
meeting
you. You too.